Hi, this is Steve from yourcreativelife.com talking today about how to make sure your log line is really tight. Now, I've been teaching a class about TV writing from soup to nuts, from idea all the way to pages. And this came up recently in the class, and I figured I'd share it with you right here in this video. So now you guys know, if you've looked at some of my other videos, what my favorite log line formula is. And you also know that a log line is the one sentence description that describes a particular television episode or show. Now, it's very important, though, that you make this one sentence because it really crystallizes what you're up to. And you may know from looking at those other videos that my favorite log line formula is: this is a story about blank who's trying to blank in spite of blank, right? So you get who the main person is, the protagonist, what they are trying to do, and what they are up against, what the obstacle is. Now, many people, as they've created this formula or they try to fill in this formula, they come up with things that are vague. Like, let's say this is the story of Joan, a criminologist about to retire, who is trying to live her best life in spite of whatever. Now, the reason I stop there is that live her best life is completely vague. I don't know what that looks like in scene after scene after scene of a pilot or a script or an episode. So that's not really useful. And it's that part of what they're trying to do that should be as specific and concrete as possible. So, for example, if I say, this is a story about Joan, a criminologist about to retire, who is trying to sell her family's estate in spite of the fact that the estate is run down and people don't want to buy it and the mob is after her, then you get a sense of what that show is like. Suddenly you can see what she's doing in trying to sell the house. There are concrete things. Suddenly your mind will populate with ideas. And that's the kind of thing you want to fill in that space about what there is to do, what that protagonist character is trying to do. Let's try another one. This is a story about Joan, a criminologist about to retire, who's trying to find the perfect husband in spite of the fact that she hates the dating apps, she's incredibly rude, and she lives in a country where she doesn't speak the language. Suddenly, again, you're seeing scenes where you know what it looks like for her to go on these dates and to try to find people and to try to talk to them we all know these things. And so suddenly we see the scenes that would be used to build up the events of the pilot. So this is the killer app. This is the thing you really need to master as you create a log line. Nothing vague that people are trying to do, not about fulfillment or joy or any of that stuff, but something really key and concrete. Now, it's not to say that you can't have fulfillment and joy and those sorts of things within the flavor and tone of the pilot story or the story you're writing if it's not a pilot. But it does mean that without things that are concrete and visual, you're going to have a much harder time breaking the story unless you come up with something that you know the character is trying to do that is concrete and specific in a way that gives you ideas for what it's going to look like when the actors are doing it and when it's being filmed and when it's on the page. So I hope that tip is good and useful to you. It ought to be. Give this a thumbs up if you find it useful. And don't forget to go to yourcreativelife.com to find out everything soup to nuts about how to work with me as a coach to help you and your writing life. Listen to the Secret Writer podcast on all podcasting platforms, and definitely subscribe to this video channel because I post a brand new video about writing, TV writing, the writing life, screenwriting, all of that every single week. And people are getting a lot out of it. There are more than 100 videos here and all sorts of things that I think are essential to your TV writing life and to mine. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.